Thanks for staying with us. Now, Home Affairs Minister Motsoaledi has proposed a raft of measures to make South Africa a less attractive migrant destination. Now, the white paper, which was published at the weekend, calls for a complete overhaul of the immigration system. But there's been some mixed reaction to it. Let's speak now to Gary Eisenberg from Eisenberg and Associates Immigration. Thank you so much for your time. In fact, Gary, one of the things, I mean, as a lawyer, you are watching this and probably have read this particular paper. I wonder, in your view, first of all, before we even get into some of the proposals, were these changes needed for the system, given what we've been seeing happening?
Yes. I think since the Immigration Act came into operation in 2003, there's always been an issue about the quality of public service. And, you know, it's all about putting in a very advanced F-16 fighter jet a pilot who understands how to fly the plane. And if I can summarize this white paper, not only this white paper, but the 2017 white paper that was accepted by the Zuma cabinet, in the first few paragraphs, there's a lamentation on the quality of service provision by the DHA, by the Department of Home Affairs itself. Now, how do you fix that problem? You don't have to change the legislation to fix the problem. You have to hire people on the basis of merit, not on the basis of political affiliation, and you have to train them in terms of law. And what I like about this paper, for the first time, it says, it emphasizes the importance of education, internal education. And for some particular positions, only lawyers will be suitable for the job. And I think that's a great stride in moving the Department of Home Affairs forward to becoming a more constitutionally compliant organ of state.
And I suppose then at the same time, looking at the fact that now even the Border Management Authority Act will also need to be, be made sure that it aligns with this new policy framework should it come into fruition.
Well, the trouble is the human resource component, and even the border management system is controlled by individuals. My experience in speaking to some of these individuals so far is that they don't know much about the laws they are supposed to apply. And I suppose with advanced education, reading the new legislation very carefully, being taught how to apply it, will drastically improve systems. And I couldn't thank the minister more for his emphasis on that issue. Even border management, refugee affairs, immigration systems, citizenship, civic services, and I think, the self-criticism by the minister, which I think everybody thanks him for his transparency, is to be applauded.
And especially when you think about, I wonder then the fact that he's, proposing that the country, that is South Africa, have maybe press the reset button when it comes to some of the international agreements on refugee protection. But then also the minister saying that this new policy framework is going to deter economic migrants who come to South Africa disguised as asylum seekers. And I wonder if this happens, does it mean then it's now going to be harder to get citizenship?
Well, let's not even talk about citizenship. Let's talk about foreigners entering through the borders of South Africa. I think that this particular minister has been particularly upset and humiliated, this is how he has expressed it, with certain individuals who shouldn't have obtained permanent residence, for example, who have come across the border, and when the police have run after them, I'm thinking of Shepherd Bushiri, for example, they've run across the border back to their home countries without anybody knowing about it. Lack of management, lack of systems controls. And I think the minister's great emphasis is on the issue of state security and sovereignty. He believes, and I think this is ANC policy, that state sovereignty should maintain its integrity in moving forward. And the only way to do that is to secure the borders, not only the external borders of South Africa, but systems within the country. And this is one of the reasons why he believes that asylum adjudication or refugee adjudication should take place at the border and not inside the country itself, because by the time people come in illegally and apply for asylum, it's too late. South Africa doesn't have the systems or the law to expel them and to deprive them of that particular right.
And Gary, I wonder then, does it have an impact at all when it comes to this ongoing ZEP matter that's still before the court?
No, I don't think so. The ZEP program is very unique and very specific, and it is a program that emanates from government policy. The policy is obviously changed. The minister has already announced time and time again that the policy of the current government is to stop the program, and we'll see what happens as this adjudication comes to finality, whether the minister has in fact acted compliantly and taken, full consultation opportunities with all the stakeholders and appeased the court, so that at the end of the day, courts will be satisfied that he has taken every step to comply with legislation, with the Constitution, to consult with all the stakeholders. And this is something, of course, he has failed to do, according to the Pretoria High Court.
Gary, thank you so much for always being available to put things into perspective for us. Do appreciate it. That is Gary Eisenberg from Eisenberg and Associates. In fact, he's an immigration lawyer. And certainly this is going to be an interesting one. If you can read that paper, please do, because it does make a proposal of so many changes, and it's still open there for public comment.